Hello? Hello, hello? 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 Alright. Game crashed. That sucks. I'll have to turn this into 2 videos now. I'm guessing it crashed because of the stupid problem about having too many eggs to open in this game. If you have too many... If you idle for too long and you accumulate too many eggs... Did it open all of them, or did I just lose all of those? Because now it doesn't say I have any left over. I don't know. Oh, hello. Oh, somebody's farming over there. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna save my chocolate then. And actually, before I get back into the football, I've been opening a lot of Patricks. Look at all these Patricks I have now. Let's go make some Patricks and increase my power. You underestimate my power. And look at that, the title went back to SpongeBob Simulator Grind. I don't understand. It should be talking about football while farming. There we go. Okay. And let's go make these gold ones into rainbow ones. The current power is at 665 septillion. Let's see what it jumps to after we make some more of these. 2 more of these. It won't jump much. But 670 septillion. Alright. At least we got past 666. And let's go back to farming. Alright, so where did I end when my game crashed? I had just finished talking about QB depth, so next up is record predictions, which means I need to redo my season predictions, right? NFL season predictions. Let's see, am I logged in? No. Log in. I am clicking the email and it's not doing anything. There we go. Wish I could type. Login error. Login error. Why? Is it this email? No. Is it a different password? No. Okay, forgot my password apparently. Oh, darn it. That was the email. Reset your password. This link. What the? Oh, okay. Password. How'd somebody get into my account? There we go. Alright, login. Email. Password. Login error. What is happening? Am I misspelling something in the email? Check your username and your password and try again. What? Maybe I won't be doing new record predictions. Okay. Or maybe I won't be able to log in. What the heck, man? Refresh. Log in. Alright. Let's just type everything from scratch. That's the email. Is something off or something on that shouldn't be? Type everything very, very slowly. Hit enter. It worked that time. Okay. I don't know why it didn't work the other times, but alright. Whatever. Okay, I don't have record predictions saved, so we can do this from scratch. Alright, so I'm going to be doing every game for this season. And we're going to hope that my game doesn't crash again, so I don't have to split it into multiple videos. I'll just stand way up here. How about that? Okay, so I'll try to do this kind of quickly, which means my predictions will be terrible or whatever, but we'll see how it goes after the season. So, more than likely I'm going to pick the home team, or the team that's just, in my opinion, way better to win basically every game. That obviously isn't going to be what happens exactly. Please don't hate me if you are watching this and you're like Broncos fan or something, and I give them like 4 wins. And you're like, oh, well, surely the Broncos are going to win 18 games. Come on now. It's like, 1, there's only 17 regular season games, so let's not get carried away. 2, it's not personal. I'm going to run through this. It's 18 weeks of games plus playoffs, and after that I want to do a mock draft, so bear with me. Let's go through every game real quick, and I'll just say which team I think I'm going to pick to win. Ravens at Chiefs, Thursday night, season opener, Chiefs. Pats at Bengals, Bengals. Jags at Dolphins, Dolphins. Texans at Colts. I'd love for us to open up with a win. At home. I know everyone's anointing CJ Stroud as like a top 5 QB, and they expect the Texans to be Super Bowl contenders. I do think the Texans are a good team. You can call me biased. I'm picking the Colts to beat the Texans week 1. Raiders, Chargers. Do the Raiders go into Los Angeles, get a dub, in Jim Harbaugh's return to the NFL? Is Justin Herbert for sure going to play? Is he 100%? I don't think he's 100%. Gardner Minshew's first game. Keep in mind the Raiders have good talent. Like, teams around the NFL, even if they're not projected to win a lot of games, even a team like the Raiders, I mean, they have Max Crosby. They have Devontae Adams. They picked up Christian Wilkins. Like, they've still got plenty of talent. I'm gonna say the Raiders go in and get an upset. NFC games: Packers at Eagles. I'll give that to Philly. Panthers at Saints. I'll go Saints. Vikings at Giants. I think the Giants can hold it together for at least 1 week. Get them a dub. Commanders at Buccaneers. Give that to Tampa. Rams at Lions. Another Matt Stafford bowl. Lions, in my opinion, are perceived similarly to the Texans. It's like, oh, this is their time. I do think they're going to have a good season. They are a good team. I think the Rams can hold it together for a few weeks and be a really good team. I'm going to pick the Rams to win in an upset there. Get Matt Stafford a win back in Detroit. And then inter-conference games. So we got Titans at Bears. I know the Caleb Williams hype train is real. I know we're expecting him to throw for like 5,000 yards with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett. I'm going to pick the Titans to get an upset win in that one. Steelers at Falcons. I think the Falcons will be good early in the season. It's going to be interesting to see if what the Steelers end up here. Remember, the Steelers have never finished below a 500 record with Mike Tomlin, so if I predict them to win like 5 games, they're probably still going to win like 9. I'll start the Falcons off with a win though. Cardinals at Buffalo. The Bills have lost a lot of talent, but they still have Josh Allen. I'll give it to the Bills. Denver at Seattle. What do you expect from this one? Gosh. I'll give it to Seattle. The home team, Kenneth Walker, run the ball. Bo Nix's first regular season start. I think Seattle's got enough pieces to win that. Dallas at Cleveland. I don't believe in Cleveland. I've predicted them to not be good for years, and it always happens. I liked Baker Mayfield, and I think they did him dirty just to go out and get Deshaun Watson. I'm going to pick Dallas, and Cleveland is not going to be... I'm just going to tell you in advance. Cleveland's not going to have a good record, as predicted by me, at least. And then Monday night, Jets at Niners. Aaron Rodgers in primetime week 1 again. Hopefully for him, he does not go out and tear his ACL again 4 plays in. I'll take the Niners just because they're such a good roster. I think Aaron Rodgers will keep that game close as long as he doesn't get hurt. But, yeah, give it to the Niners on that one. Okay, week 2. Bills at Dolphins. Thursday night. Short week. In Miami, I'll give it to the Dolphins. Jets at Titans. Like I said, I think the Titans have a chance to be good this year, but the Jets are a good team. I'll give that one to the Jets on the road. Browns at Jaguars, give me the Jags. Raiders at Ravens, give me Baltimore. Steelers at Broncos. It's going to be a tough start for Denver, man. Bo Nix, I like him. And I don't love the Steelers quarterback situation, but a revenge game for Russell Wilson. I give it to Pittsburgh on that one. Bengals at Chiefs, week 2. Good matchup. I like Kansas City. I know Burrow's beaten the Chiefs a few times already, but Kansas City's so good. Niners at Vikings. Sam Darnold, not really a revenge game. He was with the Niners last year. Give it to the Niners. Saints at Cowboys, Dallas. Giants at Commanders. Ugh. I'm excited about Jane Daniels. I don't think he's going to have a great rookie season, but he does have Terry McLaurin. The San Francisco 49ers, by the way, all this talk about trading Ayuk, and I know they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy next year. They have the most cap space in the league right now. They have like $40 million in cap. So I expect Brandon Ayuk to get paid. If not, though, maybe he ends up in Washington. He's talked to Jane Daniels publicly, so maybe there's a chance that happens. Man, as a non-Daniel Jones hater, I would like to pick the Giants here. I would like to think Daniel Jones could beat the Commanders. It is a home game for Washington. Give me the Commanders. Buccaneers at Lions. Surely the Lions don't start out 0-2. I mean, that'd be... For the expectations of that team, that would be a horrible start. I'll give it to the Lions. They're at home. Get back to 500. Rams at Cardinals. Division game. This isn't exactly a make or break year for Kyler because the contract dictates that he'll be there for a while still. But you really would like to see Kyler Murray put it on himself and win some games for them this year. I'll give it to the Cardinals at home. Falcons at Eagles. Maybe Kirk Cousins can do it for him, man. I don't know, but I'm going to go with the Eagles. Alright, that's week 2 in the books. Patriots at Jets. Thursday night. I'll give it to the Jets. Chargers at Steelers. Again, do I trust Mike Tomlin, TJ Watt, and the limitations, therefore, of the Steelers' offense to beat Jim Harbaugh in his return to the NFL? Did I miss some games? Oh, I did miss some games. My mistake. Week 2, sorry. I was looking at the records and some teams only had one game played. Back to week 2. Colts at Packers. Packers are good, man. On the road for the Colts, too. I'll go Green Bay, unfortunately, as a Colts fan. Chargers at Panthers. We go Chargers. Seahawks at Patriots. We go Seahawks on the road. Bears at Texans. That could be a good one, but I'll go with Houston. Alright, my mistake. Back to week 3. Chargers at Steelers. It's a home game for Pittsburgh. Give it to Mike Tomlin, man. I don't think the Steelers are going to be so bad. I know people are debating whether to have them be bad or not because of Mike Tomlin and because of his career record, never having a losing season. I'm not a huge believer in the Chargers, I guess. I like Herbert. I don't especially like Harbaugh as a coach, but there's other factors to that. So we'll just move on. How about that? Jaguars at Bills. Again, the Bills have lost a lot of talent. And again, it's not a make or break season for Trevor Lawrence because he got paid. He's going to be there. I'll go with Buffalo. I don't feel great about that one. Eagles at Saints. Eagles. Niners at Rams. Again, I mean, it's a division game. It's the NFL. Like, you're not going to have many blowouts. I can't just say, oh, 49ers. I am going to pick them here, but I do think that could be a good game. Lions at Cardinals. Again, same thing about Kyler Murray. You'd like him to be able to put the team on his back and win some games. I think I am going to take the Lions here, though. Packers at Titans. I picked the Packers to win against the Colts, but at home. I think they could go into Tennessee and get that done, too. Houston at Minnesota. I'll go Houston. Danielle Hunter. Revenge game. Bears at Colts. Young, exciting QB matchup. I'll take my Colts over the Bears. Broncos at Buccaneers. I have not given Bo Nix his first win yet. Buccaneers have, I mean, you kind of forget how much talent they have, but like their receiver duo, they've got good receiver depth. Tristan Wirfs on the O-line. Antoine Winfield, highest paid safety in the league. I'll go with Tampa. Giants at Browns. I don't personally like or trust that Deshaun Watson can be this team's like a good player. I know it's against Daniel Jones. I think the Giants are better than this. I know their run game is going to take a step back from having Saquon. Devin Singletary was a nice addition. Browns have a good secondary. Browns have Myles Garrett as well. Some good weapons on offense. I don't see it happening with the Browns. I'm going to take the Giants here over Cleveland. Miami and Seattle. I'll give that one to Miami. Panthers, Raiders. Haven't given the Panthers a win yet either. Raiders. I'll give the Panthers a little bit of an upset win here on the road. I think that's fair. Ravens at Cowboys. I don't even know how to analyze this. Hey, at least CD Lamb got paid. I'm taking Baltimore. Kansas City at Atlanta. I'll go with the Chiefs. Commanders at Bengals Monday night. I'll go with Cincinnati. Okay, that's all for week 3. Week 4, Jaguars at Texans. I'll take the home team, Houston. Steelers at Colts. Would love for the Colts to get this win here. Again, it's Pittsburgh. It's a home game for the Colts. It's going to be TJ Watt versus our offensive line. We've had a game in the last couple years that we should have won against the Steelers. I'll take the Colts. Maybe I'm overly confident. Maybe I'm biased. Broncos at Jets. This is the Nathaniel Hackett revenge game, right? I'll take Jets. Sorry, Bo Nix. I think he'll be a good quarterback in the NFL. I don't think it's going to happen this year. Broncos might on paper be the worst looking team in the league right now. Maybe that's harsh. Chiefs at Chargers. You know what? I've beaten down the Chargers a lot so far. I'll give them a bit of an upset division win over the Chiefs at home. Take the Chiefs down a notch. Browns at Raiders. I know we just had the Raiders have an upset win. Let's give the Browns a win at Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are going to be consistent enough to really be in the playoff mix. Bills at Ravens. Give me Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens in that one. Titans at the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, whatever that was. Give me the Dolphins, as the Miami stays undefeated so far, 4-0. Cowboys, Giants. Cowboys. Sorry, Tim. Vikings, Packers. Packers. Rams, Bears. Give me the Rams. Bears still looking for their first win too at this point. Eagles, Bucks. Go Eagles. Saints, Falcons. Kirk Cousins does make the difference this year for them. Give me the Falcons. Commanders, Cardinals. Go Cardinals. Seahawks, Lions. We go Lions. Bengals, Panthers. Go on oh, that's not Thursday night. What's the Thursday game? Cowboys, Giants. Oh, 2 Monday games this week though. Titans, Dolphins, and Seahawks, Lions. Yeah, taking the Bengals over the Panthers. And Niners over the Patriots in San Francisco. Okay, week 5. Bills at Texans. We go Bills. On the road, Colts at Jags. I'll give a win to Jacksonville here at home. Colts struggle with everybody, all division teams. Ravens at Bengals. We'll go Bengals at home. Dolphins at Patriots. How good do I think the Dolphins are going to be? Right now they're 4-0. On the road. I think I'll give one to the Patriots. I'll give them an upset. Raiders at Broncos. Here's going to be Bo Nick's first win. Congratulations. Are there teams on bye week already this week? Yeah, jeez. Buccaneers at Falcons on a Thursday night. We'll go Atlanta. Panthers at Chicago. We'll give the Bears Caleb Williams first win. Cardinals at Niners. We'll go Niners. Giants at Seahawks. Giants at Seahawks. We'll go Seahawks. Packers at Rams. Give it to the Rams. Jets at Vikings. We'll go Jets. Browns at Commanders. Browns. Cowboys, Steelers. Cowboys. Saints, Chiefs. Monday night, Chiefs. So far in the AFC, the Jets, Chiefs, and Bengals are out to 4-1 starts. The Eagles and Niners are still undefeated in the NFC. And then the Vikings are still looking for their first win with Sam Darnold. Oh boy. Okay. Well, Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall start warming up. Get ready for week 6. Colts at Titans. It pains me to do this. I'm going to pick the Titans to win at home. The Colts, they just struggle in division road games every year. Texans at Patriots. I'll give a road win to the Texans. Steelers at Raiders. We go Steelers. Chargers at Broncos this time. We'll go Denver. Little run for the Broncos. And then Bills at Jets. Monday night. How about Aaron Rodgers? Gets it done. And gets the Jets to 5-1. Wow. Do I really think that's going to happen? I guess. Niners at Seahawks. We'll go with the road team. San Francisco. Cardinals at Packers. We'll go Pack. Bucks at Saints. Saints at home. We'll take them. Lions at Cowboys. We go with Dallas. And Falcons at Panthers. Take the Falcons on the road. Jags at Bears. We'll go with Jaguars. Commanders at Ravens. Ravens. Browns, Eagles. Eagles. Bengals at Giants. We'll take the Cincinnati Bengals. Alright. Week 7. Patriots at Jaguars. We'll take Jacksonville. Dolphins, Colts. Colts at home. Give me the home team. Titans at Bills. We'll go Bills. Bengals at Browns. It's on to Cincinnati. Jets and Steelers. Again, man, Steelers, they're at home. They always have a good defense. Give me the Steelers to improve to 4-3. Alright. Keep them about 500. You know they're going to do it. You know it's going to happen, so be it. How about the Vikings-Lions? I know it's the Lions. I know everybody wants the Lions to win the Super Bowl and thinks it's going to happen. I'm going to pick the Vikings to get their first win of the season here. And it very well be maybe Nick Mullins at this point, but I'm not going to pick the Vikings to go winless. They have too much talent for that. Seahawks at Falcons. We'll go with Atlanta. Philly at the New York Giants. We'll take the Eagles on the road. Panthers at Commanders. Jane Daniels and Bryce Young. I guess we'll go Commanders. I feel for Bryce, I do. I just think the Panthers, along with the Broncos, are probably the worst two constructed teams right now. Maybe the Patriots as well are down there. After trading Judon especially, I don't think they have any hope of competing this year. Let me go get these, or this one Patrick I saw. Thought I saw a second one. I'm blind. Broncos at Saints. We'll give the Saints a win here Thursday night. Derek Carr's not awful. He's not necessarily good, but he's not awful. Texans at Packers. That's a fun game. Fun matchup of Stroud and Jordan Love. We'll give it to the Packers at home, though. Raiders, Rams. Raiders have really hit the tank since I gave them a win. I guess I'm keeping them in the tank. We'll go with the Rams. Chiefs, Niners. Another fun matchup. Super Bowl 2 of the last few years. The Chiefs struggle against good teams in the regular season. I'll give it to the Niners. Ravens, Buccaneers. We'll go Ravens. Chargers, Cardinals. We'll go with the Chargers. Those last two games being Monday night games. Alright, on to week 8. Colts at Texans. Gotta give it to the Texans, unfortunately. Ravens at Browns. Division game, Browns at home. Maybe they figure it out mid-season. We'll give one to the Browns. Jets at Patriots. Again, I don't have confidence in the Patriots this year. We'll go with the Jets. Chiefs at Raiders. Raiders whooped them last year in one game. They need a win here. Again, it's middle of the season. It's a division game. You're at home. Maybe it's Aiden O'Connell at this point. I'm going to give a win to the Raiders. Vikings at Rams. Maybe Matt Stafford's banged up at this point. It's a Thursday night. Vikings looking for their second win. I'll give it to them. Falcons and Buccaneers. The Falcons at this point 5-2. Buccaneers 2-5. They need a win. They're at home. Go with Tampa. Bears and Commanders. The battle of the top two quarterbacks taken this year. Man, the Bears just 1-5 at this point. I gotta give it to Commanders. I just think they have a better roster at this point. Cowboys at 49ers. That's a good matchup. Again, it's middle season. I know I'm doing some different rationale here. It's like, well, maybe they're banged up a little. Dallas at 5-1 is looking to compete with the Eagles in the division. We'll give Dallas a little upset here. There you go, Tim. Packers, Jaguars again? Did we? Oh no, that was Packers, Texans. Okay. Jaguars at home. We'll give it to them. Cardinals at Dolphins. Dolphins have dropped a couple in a row. We'll get them back on track. Titans at Lions. Lions just 3-3 out the gate. We'll give them a win. Titans dropped to 2-5. Bills at Seahawks. Really struggling with Geno. Bills on the road. Alright. Saints at Chargers. We'll go with Harbaugh. Panthers at Broncos. We'll go with Denver. There's another win for Denver. Alright. They're hanging in there at 3-5. Okay. Eagles at Bengals. This is also assuming Jamar Chase plays and Joe Burrow stays healthy. The top two teams in the conferences right now. I'm going to go with the Bengals at home. Maybe a little bit of an upset, even though they're the home team. Beating the Eagles, who are the last undefeated team. And all of a sudden, with one loss, they fall to 5th in the NFC because the Cowboys pass them up with the same record. Or another, yeah, they're both 6-1 at this point. Final game of the week, Monday night, Giants at Steelers. Give me Pittsburgh improving to 5-3 out the gate. And how about the Chiefs at 4-3? Only 10th right now in the AFC. Although the Chargers are leading their division also at 4-3. So that'll probably change. Week 9, Texans at Jets. Give me the Jets Thursday night. Patriots at Titans. I'll take the Titans. Dolphins at Bills. We'll go Buffalo at home. Raiders at Bengals. Bengals. Broncos at Ravens. Ravens. Chargers at Browns. Chargers stay competitive. Beat Cleveland on the road. Commanders at Giants. Giants. Cowboys at Falcons. I like the Falcons at home there. Saints at Panthers. Saints stay competitive. Bears at Cardinals. Go with Kyler. Rams at Seahawks. Give me the Rams on the road. I just think the Rams are going to be good. Rams with Sean McVay and Steelers with Tomlin are just kind of teams you know are probably going to be competitive, hang around the playoff picture, even if they're not looking great on paper. Lions at Packers. I'll take the Lions on the road. That gives them the division lead back at 5-3. Colts at Vikings. Give me the Colts. Jags at Eagles. Go Eagles. Bucks at Chiefs on Monday night. Chiefs get back on track. Jump up to 8th now in the playoff picture. Alright. Week 10. Bengals Thursday night against the Ravens. Bengals, the number 1 team in the AFC at this point. We'll take the Ravens at home. Broncos at Chiefs. Go Chiefs. Bills at Colts. I'll take the Colts. I'll take the Colts to beat the Bills. Titans at Chargers. I'll go with a little upset here. I'll take the Titans over the Chargers on the road. Giants at Panthers. Maybe Bryce gets another little win here. Man, I didn't mean because he's relatively short. I said a little win. I'm sorry. I didn't. That wasn't. Moving on. Falcons, Saints. I'll take the Saints at home. I do like the Falcons. I think they'll be competitive. Saints gonna hang in there though. Another team that just seems to kind of hang around, even after getting rid of or letting Sean Payton retire and then leave. Niners, Buccaneers. Buccaneers really need a win here. San Francisco just kind of humming along, but they are on the road. I'll give Tampa a win here at home. Division game, at home. You need it. I can see it happening. 49ers stay at second place in the NFC. Eagles at Cowboys. Sorry, Tim. Eagles. Improved to 8-1. Do I really think the Eagles are going to be 8-1? Man. I guess so. Patriots at Bears. Give me Chicago for Caleb Williams' second win. Patriots fall to 1-9. Steelers at Commanders. You know, it's not like I think Pittsburgh is going to win every game. I'll take the Commanders in that one. Vikings, Jags. Give me the Jags. Jets, Cardinals. Probably go Jets on the road. Lions, Texans. I'll take CJ. And round out the week on Monday night, Dolphins, Rams. I'll take Dolphins. I don't think the Rams can contain two of the fastest players in the NFL. Week 11, Raiders, Dolphins. And kind of the same reason here, the secondary of the Raiders. Give me the Dolphins. Ravens, Steelers, division game. I'll take Baltimore on the road. Bengals at Chargers. Chargers are hanging around. They're 5-4. Bengals at 8-2. I don't know if I trust the Chargers, man. I'll go with the Bengals. Chiefs at Bills. Again, Bills have lost a lot of talent. Their safety duo, Trey White, Matt Milano to injury. Maybe Von Miller is going to be good this year, but don't know. I'll go with the Chiefs. Colts at Jets. Ah, man. As much as I'd like to say we win this one, I go Jets. Colts at 6-5. You can't call me a homer if I've got the Colts at 6-5 through 11 games. Commanders at Eagles Thursday night. Sometimes the Eagles struggle with random games too. I'll go with the Commanders in this one. They need a win. Eagles stay with the 1 seed. Packers at Bears. We go Packers. Seahawks at Niners. We go Niners. And at 3-7 for Seattle, you probably start thinking about playing Sam Howell the rest of the season. Sorry. With respect to Geno. Vikings, Titans. I'll go Vikings on the road. Browns, Saints. I'll go Browns on the road. Rams, Patriots. Rams on the road. Jaguars, Lions. Take the Lions. Falcons, Broncos. Go Falcons. Texans, Cowboys. I'll take the Texans on the road too. A lot of road winners this week. So far, the worst team in the league, New England Patriots at 1-10. 2-win teams, Chicago, Carolina, and Las Vegas. 3-win teams, Denver, Arizona, Minnesota, Seattle, and the New York Giants. Best teams in the league, the Jets at 9-2, as well as the Bengals. And in the NFC, the Eagles and Niners both 8-2. Man, I really got high hopes for the Jets, huh? Alright, moving on. Steelers at Browns Thursday night. Give me the Steelers. You already know. Titans, Texans. Go Texans. Patriots, Dolphins. Dolphins. Broncos, Raiders. Give the Raiders a win at home. I think that's fair. And then Ravens, Chargers on Monday night. We'll go Ravens. Vikings at Bears. We give the Vikings another win. Buccaneers at Giants. Give it to the Bucks. Cowboys at Commanders. Cowboys. Cardinals at Seahawks. Cardinals on the road. Niners at Packers. We'll give Packers a nice home win here. Eagles at Rams. And same with the Rams. We'll get them a nice home win. Lions at Colts. I'll have to take the Lions. Chiefs at Panthers. Well, you never know. We'll take the Chiefs. Bryce Young could come out and throw for 780 yards. You never know. Could have 18 touchdown passes. And I could join the NFL also. Just as reasonable. Alright, week 13. Playoff picture is becoming clearer, but not fully developed yet. Raiders at Chiefs Friday night. Oh, this must be Thanksgiving week. Yeah. We'll go Chiefs, yeah. Colts, Patriots. Give me the Colts. Steelers, Bengals. Take Cincinnati. Texans, Jaguars. Go Texans on the road. Browns at Broncos. We'll go Bo Nix. In case you're wondering, the Browns at 4-8 now. A couple of Thanksgiving games. Bears at Lions. Hopefully, the Lions can finally win one of these things. Giants And Cowboys as well on Thanksgiving. Hey, Thanksgiving. Cowboys gotta win, right? Cardinals and Vikings. I've been being kind of nice to Minnesota here in the last couple weeks, getting them to 4 wins. Cardinals also only have 4 wins. We'll go with Cardinals on the road. Rams at Saints. Go Rams. Buccaneers at Panthers. Panthers are at home, but I trust Tampa more than that, so we'll go Tampa. The other Thanksgiving Day game, Dolphins at Packers. We'll go with Packers. Chargers at Falcons. How about the Falcons? Seahawks at Jets. I guess that's another Jets. Titans at Commanders. We'll go Titans. Eagles at Ravens. I guess we'll go with Ravens at home. And then Niners at Buffalo. Niners at Buffalo? Niners at the Bills. Alright. Try to keep the team consistent, or the city consistent. Whatever I say first. I guess give me 49ers. Thought my browser just closed. I was gonna be sad. Alright, week 14. Don't want to get kicked. Jaguars at Titans. We'll go with the Jaguars. Browns at Steelers. Give me the Steelers. Jets at Dolphins. Give me Miami. Chargers at Chiefs. We'll go Chiefs. Thursday game, Packers at Lions. We'll go Lions at home. Lions have crawled up to 2nd place in the NFC. Falcons at Vikings. Maybe the Vikings get a nice win here late. Saints. Giants. Give me the Giants. Panthers, Eagles. Yeah, Eagles on that one. Seahawks, Cardinals. Go Cardinals. Bears, 49ers. It's just a hard season for the Bears, man. I don't expect them to really win a lot of games. Give me the Niners. Raiders at Buccaneers. Super Bowl matchup from, what, like 2002? Give me the Bucks. Bills at Rams. I'll take Buffalo in that one. Bengals, Cowboys. We'll go with Dallas. And that's a Monday night one. So at this point, with what, 4 games left, headed into week 15, the Chargers at 5-7 are probably done. I hope I didn't miss any games. Some teams have played 13, some have played 12. Are there still bye weeks coming up? This late in week 15? I hope I didn't miss any. If I'll go back and see if I did. Dolphins, Texans. How about Texans at home? Bengals, Titans. We'll go Titans at home. Jets at Jaguars. Jags at home. Chiefs at Browns. Yeah, Chiefs. Colts at Broncos. Give me the Colts. Rams at Niners. Niners. Commanders at Saints. Commanders on the road. Cowboys at Packers. Cowboys. Packers at Seahawks. Packers. Bears at Vikings. Bears. Ravens at Giants. Ravens. Buccaneers at Chargers. Chargers. Patriots at Cardinals. Drake May surely is playing by this point. I'll go with the Patriots get a little upset win there. And that might affect the #1 pick. Bills at Lions. Go Lions. Steelers, Eagles. Go Eagles. Falcons, Raiders Monday night. Raiders at home. We'll give the Raiders a dub there. Falcons still holding in at 4th in the playoff picture. Alright, week 16. Thursday night, Browns, Bengals, Texans, Chiefs. Some Saturday game. Oh, this must be Christmas week. December 23rd. Texans, Chiefs. I'll go with Chiefs. Steelers, Ravens, Saturday night. Ravens. Titans, Colts. Colts at home this time. Colts. Patriots, Bills. Broncos, Chargers. Jaguars, Raiders. We'll take the Jags on the road. Lions at Bears. Could the Bears sneak in another win here before the season ends? For 2 in a row. Giants at Falcons. Maybe the Giants sneak in another late win here. Doesn't really affect the playoff picture that much at the moment. Eagles, Commanders. We'll go Eagles. Cardinals, Panthers. Go Cardinals. Vikings, Seahawks. Vikings. Buccaneers, Cowboys. Saints, Packers. Rams, Jets. Go Rams. Niners, Dolphins. That's a fun matchup. I'll give it to the Dolphins at home. So right now we've got 6 teams in the AFC with 10 wins or more, and then 5 in the NFC with 10. Ravens, Chiefs, Texans, Dolphins, and then Bengals, Jets, and the Jaguars at 9 wins. 7 playoff teams in the AFC. NFC, Jets, Niners, Lions, Falcons, Cowboys, and Packers, and then Rams, the 7 seed. Okay, a couple of weeks left. Week 17, December 25th through the 30th. We got some Wednesday games. That must be... Is Christmas on Wednesday or Thursday? Because there's also a Thursday game. 25th is a Wednesday. So, Christmas Day, Chiefs at... Oh no, Steelers. Steelers are 7-8 at this point. I gotta take the Steelers, man. I'm telling you. They're gonna go 500 again. That puts them at 8-8. That puts the playoffs within reach. Ravens, Texans. We'll go Texans. I'm giving Houston credit here. We got them at 11-5. Broncos, Bengals, Chargers, Patriots. Chargers would desperately need this win to have any chance of making the playoffs. It's in New England. It's in December. I'm going to go with the Patriots to get an upset win. Titans, Jaguars. Titans also probably eliminated at this point. We know how the Jaguars struggled last year down the stretch. I'll give an upset win to the Titans on the road. That could very well help the Colts make the playoffs here. Jets, Bills. We'll go Bills. Jets faltering here late, down to 10-6 after a 9-2 start. Dolphins, Browns. Go Dolphins. Seahawks, Bears on a Thursday. I don't dislike the Bears. I just, it's hard to find them a bunch of wins. That improves them to 5-11. Cardinals, Rams. The Rams have probably done enough to get in the playoffs at this point, but if the Cardinals win, that puts them only a game behind. Saturday, give me the Cardinals on the road. Falcons, Commanders. Commanders would be eliminated at that point. Falcons fighting for the division at 8-7, currently leading the division. Commanders at home. You hope things have kind of clicked so far for Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Doesn't have a great offensive line, doesn't have a great set of edge rushers like they theoretically had in Chase Young and Montez Sweat. I'm going to go with Washington. I'm sorry, Mullet. Packers, Vikings. Vikings still kind of clawing their way up. I think at this point they would be eliminated. Packers would be locked in. We'll give it to the Vikings. Panthers, Buccaneers. Bucks fighting for their playoff lives. Give it to the Bucks. That actually moves them ahead of the Falcons for the division. Oh boy. Cowboys, Eagles. This could be the battle for the #1 seed right here. Eagles at home, though. Sorry, Tim. Give it to Philly. And then Lions, Niners, Monday night. Could also have #1 seed implications. Monday night. Man. Niners at home. Give me the Niners. So the Eagles and Niners at 12-4. The Bengals at 12-4. A couple more games though. Colts, Giants. Colts at the Giants Saturday. Give me the Colts. I gotta be confident, man. That moves them up to 10-6. And then the Raiders at the Saints. Both teams would be eliminated by now. The Saints may be playing Jake Hayner or Spencer Rattler at this point. Raiders might be playing Aiden O'Connell or Carter Bradley at this point. Who knows? We'll go with the Raiders. Max Crosby prevails. And then week 18, every single game's on a Sunday. No Thursday, no Monday. Many playoff implications here, although the Chargers at Raiders will not be one. I'll give the Chargers a win. That only improves them to 8-8. I somehow missed a game here somewhere along the way. Let me go all the way back and make sure I filled in everything. Or see where I didn't. It's probably because of this giant ad that pops up at the bottom. There's probably a game underneath the ad that I missed. Thanks a lot, ads. Before we get through week 18, let me go back. This is why this is such a nice website, though, despite the ads. Because if I get to the end, then I can go back if I miss something. I'm not changing anything either. I'm just looking to see what I missed. I'm gonna give the Colts 5 extra wins. Not really. Not realistic. Okay, something just changed. I clicked on next and I saw. I'm still on the same week. I saw the Patriots get a win over the like it changed from the Texans to the Patriots. Like I clicked on the Patriots. That's not at all what happened. I clicked on next. What the heck was that? What the heck? But yeah, somewhere I've missed a Chargers game at least. Because they're only at 16 games. Where is it? Where could it be? I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Oh, here it is. Chargers at Chiefs in week 14. Somehow I missed this one. I would probably have taken the Chiefs at home, so sorry, Chargers fans. That officially eliminates the Chargers with an 8-9 season, so just below 500. Chiefs at Broncos. Chiefs might be resting some players, but they are playing for the #1 seed, so we'll go with the Chiefs. Texans at Titans. Titans would be eliminated. Texans would be playing for the #1, or for the AFC South division win. Could the Titans steal one here at the end of the season, or are the Texans going to be tuned up for the playoffs? I'll give it to the Texans, which gives them the AFC South. Colts at Jaguars. They need to win this to be in. Losing this would not guarantee them a playoff spot. But also the Jaguars need to win to get in. Could the Colts miss the playoffs with 10 wins? That would be sad in my own prediction. Colts are at home, hosting Jacksonville. We've had a tremendously hard time with Jacksonville, really since Peyton Manning's been gone. Even with Andrew Luck at times. Jaguars, Colts, man. I'd love to just click on Colts and say we're going to win that. If we don't, I'm very, very afraid we're going to miss the playoffs. Right now, the battle for like the 6th seed, the Jets and Colts are 10-6. The Bills and Jags are 9-7, and the Steelers, I guess, are eliminated at 8-8. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they still could win 9 games. Good for them. All right, Jags at Colts. I got to make a decision. I just feel like it's the Colts. It's the end of a season. The Colts are going to Colts sometimes. And I think the Jaguars are going to steal this game on the road and potentially keep us out of the playoffs. Now, we got to see what happens with Buffalo and the Jets. And it is division games, so they don't play each other. So we'll see what happens in a few games here. Bengals at Steelers. Well, you already know Mike Tomlin's going to win 9 games. This will be Justin Fields by this point, probably. Justin Fields goes into Cincy. And they get it done. 9-win season for Mike Tomlin. They still come up short. They don't make the playoffs, but they still win 9 games. Browns at Ravens. Browns are still contending. Ravens are still competing for the number 1 seed. Jockeying for playoff position as well. Browns at 4-12. Things have clearly not gone well. Give me the Ravens. The Browns fall to the 2nd worst record in the entire AFC, behind even the Denver Broncos, tied 4-13. And then we have Bills at Patriots, and this, I don't know if the Colts can get back into the playoffs, honestly. If the Jets lose, maybe, but we might just be out based on this prediction. So, and the Bills aren't going to give us help because the Bills are at the Patriots, and I think the Bills win this game. So, unfortunately, with a very heavy heart, that moves not only the Colts out, or keeps them out still, but it moves the Jaguars back out at 10 wins. Wow. Finally, for the division, and possibly ruining the Jets' playoff chances, it's the Dolphins at Jets. I feel like the Dolphins have to win this, right? I feel like this is exactly why you're paying the people you're paying to win a game like this. Albeit on the road. Yeah, if you're a Jets fan, you hope Aaron Rodgers is still healthy by this point. If not, it's Tyrod Taylor. I'll go with the Dolphins. What does that do to the playoffs? It knocks the Jets out of the playoffs. The Bills jump up to 6, and the Jaguars move back in 7th place. Jets are out, Colts are out. Man. Disappointing as a Colts fan, but it's my own prediction. Hey, if we win 10 games this year, that's a really nice season to me. It would be a shame to miss the playoffs too, but alright. Let's get the NFC playoff picture figured out. Seahawks at Rams. Seahawks at this point have been eliminated with just 3 wins. Wow. The Rams are currently in the 7 seed. Sorry, Mina. I'm going with the Rams. Just a debacle for the Seahawks season. Wow. I didn't realize they were that bad. You know, if you look at their roster, you wouldn't think they'd be a 3-14 team. So maybe they find a way to get more wins than that. But wow, That is a desolate season from my predictions. 49ers at Cardinals. 49ers still competing for the 1 seed. They do have the division locked up, but still with the possibility of a bye. We'll give it to the Niners. Bears at Packers. Gotta go with Green Bay here. And that actually, at least temporarily, moves them ahead of Detroit for the 1 seed. Commanders at Cowboys. Commanders are going for the division still. The Commanders. Cowboys are competing with the Eagles. I'll give it to the Cowboys. Saints at Buccaneers. Saints at 5-11, maybe trying to figure out their quarterback situation. Versus Tampa at home, who's trying to win the division. This would keep the Falcons out of the playoffs. If they can win this game, but do they? Can Baker Mayfield get it done? It's at home. I just feel like Tampa's too good to not lose a late season game to the Saints. I gotta go with Tampa Bay there. So unfortunately for Mullet's Falcons, they also will not make the playoffs along with my Colts. That's a bummer. Vikings Lions. Lions are locked in. Not really competing for anything at this point, other than whether they're going to be the 6 or the 7 seed potentially. I'll give the Vikings a nice late season division win. The Lions do drop to 7th. Not a great season from the Lions at 10-7. Definitely not as good as most people's predicting them to be, but they still get in the playoffs, so by all means a successful campaign in that regard. Panthers at Falcons. The Falcons do get a win here. Finish at 9-8, but do miss the playoffs. And then Giants Eagles. Eagles still going for the possibly the 1 seed. This could be the last hurrah for Danny Dimes. It could be not Bajent. What's his name? Tommy DeVito. There we go. It could be Tommy DeVito time. It could be Drew Lock. It could be any number of named people at this point. So we'll go with the Eagles. And that'll wrap up the regular season. So in the AFC, Chiefs get the 1 seed at 13-4. The Ravens also at 13-4, but finish 2nd. Texans, Dolphins, Bengals, Bills, and Jaguars all make the playoffs. The Jets and Colts at 10-7 miss. The Steelers go 9-8, still winning record but miss too. Chargers at 8-9, Titans at 7-10, Raiders, Broncos, Browns, Patriots all miss playoffs. In the NFC, the Eagles 13-4, win the conference. Niners also go 13-4, 2nd place. Packers and Buccaneers are division winners. Cowboys, Rams, Lions also make the playoffs. Falcons just miss at 9-8. Cardinals and Vikings at 8-9. Commanders at 7-10. And then we got Giants, Saints, Bears, Seahawks, and Panthers all miss out as well. And that sets the draft order. Panthers, Seahawks surely would be in the market for a QB. Patriots, Broncos, Browns. Would the Browns consider a QB? I think you have to. I think if the Browns are this bad this year at 4-13, I think you have to start realizing, like, hey, it just ain't going to happen with Deshaun Watson. And you're either going to have to attempt to trade him or take the cap penalty, much like the Broncos did with Russell Wilson. The Broncos have moved on to Bo Nix and also got 4 wins. So, much cheaper to pay Bo Nix than it is to pay Deshaun Watson. If that happens with the Browns, we'll see what they would do. Saints, Bears, Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Titans, Chargers, Cardinals, Vikings, Falcons, Steelers, Jets, and Colts all set for the draft. But we're not done. We're not up to the mock draft yet. We got playoffs to go through. First off, in the AFC, the 5-seed Bengals at the 4-seed Dolphins. Again, you want to look at Tua's contract. You want to look at Tyreek Hill. You want to say, Mike McDaniel, can you get a win over the Cincinnati Bengals at home? If the Bengals are healthy, I think on paper they match up well with the Dolphins. I think Joe Burrow is a top 5 QB. They've been to a Super Bowl with the majority of their roster intact. Do I think Dolphins can steal one at home? Not really stealing. Do I think the Bengals can steal one on the road? I guess is what I should say. Both teams 12-5. I think they can at least win one. I'm going to give the Dolphins the win here. Knock out Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Alright, Bills at Texans. The Stephon Diggs revenge game. He's gotta like secretly hate Josh Allen, right? I know nobody's really come out and said that. They've just talked about like, it seems like there's been a little bit of dysfunction. He's gotta just hate Josh Allen, doesn't he? I mean, what the heck happened? What happened between Josh Allen and between Stephon Diggs and the Bills? I don't know, but give me the Texans, man. Sorry to Josh Allen. This is gonna pass him up in a lot of people's eyes for CJ Stroud as a top 5 QB probably if this were to happen. You know, wherever they rank, like if Josh Allen's 3, is CJ Stroud gonna move to number 3 for a lot of people? I don't know. Then you got Jaguars sneaking in at the 7 seed against the 2-seeded Ravens. I'll take the Ravens. Give me Lamar. Picking all the home teams there. In the NFC, Cowboys have to go on the road, despite being 12-5, to the 9-8 Buccaneers. Does that sound familiar? Tom Brady's final game. Give me Dallas on the road. That would be a tough win for the Falcons, too, by the way, if they were to win the division and then have to host Dallas. That's very tough. The Rams going to Green Bay. One of the older teams in the NFL versus one of the youngest teams ever in the NFL history. Can Jordan Love get it done, or does Matt Stafford possibly get another matchup with the Lions? Is that in the cards for the future? I think I'm going to go Rams. I'm sorry, Packers fans. Sorry to Jordan Love. A really nice 11-6 season. The Rams went 10-7. 2 road upsets, and now we have the Lions at the Niners in the first round. That's really tough to see. The Lions get the 7 seed and have to play the Niners. I gotta take San Francisco. Sorry, Detroit. I know they're a team that a lot of people are picking to win the Super Bowl. But having to play San Francisco first round of the playoffs, that's a tough draw. So we've got some more draft orders set. Tampa Bay at pick 19, Jacksonville, Detroit, Buffalo, Green Bay, Cincinnati. Alright, on to the divisional round. 3-seed Texans, 2-seed Ravens. Texans 12-5, Ravens 13-4. I think you gotta give it to Baltimore. Lamar's experience versus CJ Stroud's. Man, I could really see the Texans winning that though on the road. And then you got Miami Dolphins versus Kansas City Chiefs. This is gonna be almost kind of chalk here for the Final Four, I think. I gotta take the Chiefs over the Dolphins. Sorry, Tua. Cowboys 5 seed at the 2 seed Niners. Cowboys 12-5. They got a playoff win. Does that save Mike McCarthy's job? Does Dak get an extension? I think the Niners take this one at home. Sorry, Tim. And then the Rams at the Eagles. The Eagles, I gave them the 1 seed, man. I gave them 13 wins. It's Matt Stafford's final chance to get back to a Super Bowl, possibly. Can they go into Philadelphia and get an upset? Rams 10-7, Eagles 13-4. Eagles had a bye week. Sometimes that messes with teams. Could the Rams go in and beat Philly? I think it's possible. I don't have great feelings about Nick Sirianni's long-term future as the Eagles coach unless he was to win another Super Bowl like this year, essentially. He may only have another year after this left if he doesn't, if they don't have success in the playoffs. That's kind of what the Eagles tend to do. And they got rid of Andy Reid, for goodness sake. This would be a monster upset, and it would also cause a division game in the NFC Championship. I'm gonna take the Rams over the Eagles. I'm doing it. Shout out Puka Nacua. Goes for 150 yards and 8 touchdowns in this game. No, I'm just kidding. 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. There you go. There's a shred of realism for you. Alright. That also sets the next 4 picks. We got Dolphins, Cowboys, Texans, and Eagles for the draft order. Conference championship round, however, we'll start with the NFC side for the first time. This is where the improbable run is going to end for the Rams. The Niners, at home, the 3rd time they will have played this team this year, beat the Rams, and they're going to get another shot at the Chiefs, who once again are going to beat the Ravens in the playoffs, and everybody's going to, for like 1 week, question Lamar Jackson, and then we're going to go back to loving Lamar. So once again, it's chalk. It's Chiefs and 49ers for the Super Bowl. I know. And unfortunately, again, for NFL fans, unfortunately for non-fans of Taylor Swift, unfortunately for people that just want to see more parity in sports, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl. It's a three-peat. I know. Yeah, I know. It's chalk. I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Wow. How daring. I know. Patrick Mahomes throws a late touchdown to Carson Steele out of the backfield. Carson Steele wins the game, wins MVP. Ball State legend. I know. But that'll do it. So, oh boy, he picked the Chiefs. Wow. Wow. Great prediction. We'll see if it happens. But now, that is going to move me into the mock draft portion of this longer and continuing to get longer video. 2-part video, I guess, since my stream crashed earlier. So let me transfer over the draft order into my document here. There hasn't been any first round trades yet to this point. Alright, draft order. Panthers, Seahawks. Seahawks are picked to have the 11th pick based on odds right now. Patriots, Broncos, Browns, and Saints. Browns are picked to have the 17th pick based on odds. Everyone else has been pretty close so far. Bears, Raiders. Bears are picked to make the playoffs based on odds. Have the 19th pick. Giants, Commanders. Those are two teams that are down here already. Titans, Chargers. Chargers are picked to have the 16th pick. That's still out of the playoffs. Cardinals, Vikings. Those two are top 10 projected teams. And then Falcons, Steelers. Falcons are picked to be 20th. Steelers are picked to be just 14th. So that's about consistent. And then the final two teams that did not make the playoffs for me, the Jets, are picked to be the 22nd team, and then the Colts are picked to be 12th. So I gave the Colts a few more wins than they're projected to have. I don't feel like that's a stretch. And then we got all the playoff teams. Buccaneers, Jaguars are both, by odds, picked to not make the playoffs. And then everyone else is. So pretty much my playoff predictions are pretty consistent with the odds in terms of who I think's all going to make the playoffs. Let's see, Lions, Bills. Packers, Bengals. Dolphins, Cowboys. I probably have the Rams going farther than thought. Texans, Eagles, Rams. Yeah, the Rams by odds are going to have the 20th pick, and I have them at 29th. Ravens, Niners, Chiefs. That's the exact odds for the final three teams. Okay, so a quick mock draft. I'll try not to drag this out. Keep in mind this is partially by my knowledge, and it's partially by like just rankings that I've seen, and it's partially by literally college football 25 rankings. So if I don't mention somebody, then you're like, oh, this guy surely is going to be a first round pick. Or if I give a team a quarterback and you're like, oh, they don't need to take a quarterback. Or, oh, what about Graham Mertz? Surely Graham Mertz is going to be a first round pick. He's probably not. Two, there's going to be some quarterbacks in this mock. It's just bound to happen. If I don't get to like Jackson Dart or Quinn Ewers, for example, or Jalen Milroe, it doesn't mean I hate them as prospects. Just means we got an entire college football season to watch before we can really narrow some things down. So, first off, the Panthers. There's no way the Panthers are going to take a quarterback. You got to stick with Bryce Young. James Pierce is the guy that I see as the consensus #1 guy right now. I'm going to trust that. He is a freaky athlete, pass rusher. So I'll go with it for now. We'll see how he does this year, obviously. Seahawks at 2. I mean, you have to think quarterback after a 3-win season that I gave them. And it's probably between Carson Beck and Shedeur Sanders, at least right now, for QB1. If Bama has a great season, if Jalen Milroe looks awesome, maybe he's in the conversation. Same with Jackson Dart, same with Quinn Ewers. But right now, I would say it's between Beck. And personally, I don't think Sanders is going to be my QB2 by the end of the season. I think a lot of that is projection as well. So I'm going to go with Carson Beck to the Seahawks. little different than some quarterbacks that they've had over the last decades, but I like the fit. I like the need certainly matches up if they go with 3 wins. So Patriots at 3. You know, we're not going to be looking at QB a year into Drake May's career. Could look at receiver, although I think for me, and maybe this is disrespecting some of the guys that they currently have on the offensive line, but I like Will Campbell a lot, tackle at LSU. I think he's going to be tackle 1. I think there's a conversation there. Kelvin Banks, his own teammate, Emory Jones, possibly. But for a true left tackle, get that for Drake May. That seems like a good idea. Broncos, another team, don't need to go QB. Got Bo Nix. Give that a few years at least. Luther Burden kind of sticks out from Missouri. You know, where is Travis Hunter going to go? How high would he go? Will he be a receiver or a corner in the next level? Will he play a little of both? Player I mentioned Deion Walker earlier, the Kentucky D lineman. How early could he possibly go? There's a lot of good pass rushing prospects at this point. Did the Broncos pay Pat Surtain, by the way? That would be good to know. Because there's at least 2 corners that could go potentially this high. And if the Broncos were to lose Surtain, they could certainly consider, even if they re-sign Surtain. He is playing on the 5th-year option. No, that's not true. They picked up his 5th-year option. That's next season. So right now he's scheduled to play on his 5th-year option. Let's give him... I just like the idea of a receiver for Bo Nix. If you're not, especially if you're not going to go O-line. Like if Will Campbell was there, I'd probably take him to replace Garrett Bowles, who's getting older and who's had some injuries. They may also want to think about replacing Mike McGlinchey. They gave him a lot of money to be a not very good pass protecting right tackle. I'm going to go with Will Johnson out of Michigan. He seems to be the consensus CB1 right now. And whether you lose Pat Surtain or not, the Broncos could use some more help in the secondary. Browns at 5. Could you imagine Shedeur Sanders going to the Cleveland Browns at 5? Like I said, if you're picking 5th, it's not working out with Deshaun Watson. You have to consider QB, although ultimately I can't imagine that's what they would do. I'm not going to project any trades. Did they re-sign Jedrick Wills? Is Jedrick Wills even on the team? I think he is. I'm fairly certain he is. They also have, they kept Jack Conklin and they have DeJuan Jones at right tackle. He is playing on the 5th-year option, it looks like. Or they gave him... It says void years. I don't know what that is. I think he's playing on the 5th-year option this year, and then maybe they worked it out. They have some sort of team option. He has not been great. Was an early first-round pick, 10th overall in 2020. They could look to replace him and Jack Conklin. Kelvin Banks could slide in and replace him. Kind of a similar profile as well. He'd be cheaper, more than likely. The Browns have liked keeping their O-line strong. Maybe, maybe they don't love the remaining QBs. Maybe they would take Beck, but they wouldn't take any of the others. I'll give them Kelvin Banks. I'll show Deshaun Watson, a little bit of kindness, and think that maybe he'll get one more year, although I probably wouldn't give that to him. I wouldn't have traded for him in the first place, but anyway. Saints at 6. Maybe they're moving off of Derek Carr, but they do have Hayner and Spencer Rattler. Could they look to improve the offensive line? Probably. Even with taking some tackles in the last 2 years. They've also taken a lot of front 4 guys, D-line guys. I think Paulson Adebo is scheduled to be a free agent. Marshawn Lattimore is getting older. Could you consider the next best corner, which would be maybe Benjamin Morrison? Maybe it would be even Travis Hunter. That would give you another option on offense as well. I kind of like that idea, actually. We're going to go with Travis Hunter here. Coming off the board before Luther Burden, before Benjamin Morrison. As just like a player. Wide receiver / corner. Chicago Bears at 7. Let me mark off Travis Hunter here. Bears at 7. Keenan Allen is a rental. He is older. He's only on a 1-year deal. Could you replace him with potentially Luther Burden here? Would he fit well with DJ Moore and Rome Odunze? I would say so. You'd be spending another top 10 pick on a receiver. But would that be such a bad thing? You got the top 2 tackles off the board. You're probably not wanting to replace your tackles, but I don't know for sure if that would be the case. I think edge would be a position of need you'd be looking at. Mikel Williams, Abdul Carter, Nick Scarton. I liked Landon Jackson. I thought he was going to be maybe a day 2 pick last year if he'd declared. Patrick Payton. The pair of edge rushers for Ohio State, JT Tuimoloau and Jack Carter. Where does Harold Perkins factor into this? He's certainly undersized. I don't think he's a true edge rusher. I have Mikel Williams number 2 on my list for edge players, so I'm going to go with Mikel Williams here. For the Bears, another Georgia defender in general, just coming out of the draft. Raiders at 8. I mean, this just is Shador, right? It just is Shador. If he's there, if the Raiders have the option to take him, they're probably going to take Shador Sanders. That would be my guess. Giants at 9. They've missed out on the top 2 QBs. They still have Daniel Jones under contract. If you're taking a quarterback in this draft class, you're telling yourself, we're not going to be that competitive this year again. Do you maybe just take like Luther Burden? Do you take an O-lineman? A defensive playmaker? Like, I would, if I was a Giants fan, I would just love to plug in Benjamin Morrison into the secondary. I think I'm going to do that. So, me being someone who doesn't hate Daniel Jones, but recognizing that they have the 9th pick, the top 2 QBs did go off the board already, so we're going to go with my CB2, or maybe 3, depending on what you count Travis Hunter as. And will Travis Hunter end up being that high of a pick at pick 6? Hard to say, but he is very talented. He is a great athlete, so we'll see. Morrison goes 9. The Commanders are up at 10. They don't need a QB. Maybe they could look at a weapon. I keep mentioning Burden just because I think he's such a talented receiver. He is only 5'11". He doesn't have great size. That doesn't mean he won't have a very good NFL career. They do have McLaurin. There's been Brandon Ayuk rumors. Do I like the idea of Deion Walker? Their defensive tackle pair is getting older. And depending on the data you look at, they're not really that amazingly talented of a duo. I'll give him Deion Walker. I know it's another defensive tackle. They just took Jerzon Newton as well in the second round of this draft. But maybe Newton and Walker are your defensive tackle starters next year. Or maybe Walker's a rotational piece as a rookie. You keep Jonathan Allen, or you keep... Who's the other guy they got? I always forget his name. I always remember Jonathan Allen, and then I forget their other defensive tackle. Commanders... Deron Payne. Both of those guys are getting $21 million this year. Wow. Deron Payne has 2 more years on his contract after this. Jonathan Allen only has 1. Maybe you trade Jonathan Allen, who will be 30 in the final year of his contract. Maybe keep Deron Payne for another year and then think about trading him in the final year of his contract in 2 seasons. Fedarian Mathis is kind of just hanging around. I think you draft Johnny Newton to be a future starter, so maybe that's a lot of projection, but I just think Deion Walker is worthy of a top 10 status at this point. Alright, got him off the board. Titans at 11. You know, if they were picking like in the top 5, maybe I'd be considering QB to replace Will Levis. Their receiving core, they've got some talent. Obviously, D-Hop's still there. They brought in Calvin Ridley. Traylon Burks, I still think can be a decent player. He's not A.J. Brown, but you might look at offensive line. You might want another tackle. I guess, oh gosh, guy they got from Northwestern last year, Skronsky. I guess he's going to play guard. So maybe not O-line. They might be looking pass rusher. Abdul Carter's probably the next best 3-4 outside linebacker, pass rusher. We'll go with him. Harold Landry may not be long for the team either. Pick 12, Chargers. What would old Harbaugh want to do here? They got their tackle duo. They did draft 3 wide receivers, but they didn't necessarily get like a wide receiver 1. Luther Burden's still there. Defense, Mason Graham. Would Harbaugh rather take a run-defending D-tackle over a potential wide receiver 1? Probably. Build through the trenches. That's what they said they want to do. It makes sense. They've needed somebody that can consistently stop the run for like a decade. Remember Jerry Tillery? Remember how they took him in the first round and he couldn't do that? We'll go with Mason Graham. Cardinals at 13. I don't think I can let Luther Burden fall anymore. I know they got Marvin. I like Michael Wilson as well. Let Kyler Murray just sit back and spread the ball out to an offense that now can include Luther Burden the third. That feels smart to me. He's definitely talented to go this high at 13. Vikings at 14. They got McCarthy. They got Dallas Turner. Ooh, now wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Do they have this pick? NFL Draft 20. I was thinking there hadn't been any trades, but they did trade up to have a second first-round pick this year, so in the 25 draft, they have their first-round pick still. They still do. Oh, yeah. It's because they traded up for that Texans pick. That was like a late first-rounder. They traded a second-rounder as well as last year's second-rounder and a sixth-rounder for last year's first and a 7th. So they still do have their first. There's not been a first round pick traded yet. Keyword yet. So the Vikings up on the board at 14. Probably not thinking receiver. Maybe an interior offensive lineman. Like Tyler Booker at guard starts to be a possibility around this time, I would say. Jonah Savania out of Arizona, maybe a guard, maybe a right tackle. Emory Jones as well could be in play. I do think Harold Perkins is going to go fairly early. I don't know if that'll end up being first round. I talked about their unfortunate lack of cornerback depth. Again, rest in peace to Kyer Jackson. Tacario Davis at 6'4" seems an intriguing piece. Do I pass on that? For what exactly would I be taking to pass on that? I don't know. Let's go with Tacario Davis. I've seen him kind of like early first round and even not even in first round mocks. Some things that I've looked at, so 14 feels maybe a little early. But again, we're like 8 months away from the draft, so don't crush me too hard if you come back to this video and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you had Tacario Davis going number 14. He went number 37th. Like, alright then, sorry. I don't what do you want me to do? Atlanta Falcons at 15. They don't need a quarterback. They got one of those. They got maybe 2 of those. They drafted one last year. Or well, this year. I do think they could use a receiver. I know they've been drafting offensive weapons for years. But like, you've got Drake London at wide receiver, and then who else? Rondale Moore, unfortunately, is out for the year. They brought in Darnell Mooney as well. Money with 2 O's. Shout out the Bengal. He is their highest paid receiver, and then Drake London. And then it's Ray McLeod, Rondale Moore, Kadarrell Hodge, Casey Washington, Chris Blair. These are including some practice squad guys. Dylan Drummond, Jesse Matthews. And so you hope, especially if you're Kyle Pitts fantasy owners, you hope that Kyle Pitts can become that number 2 target. But as far as wide receiver talent, you just kind of only have Drake London. So Emeka Egbuka, Tatario McMillan. You got some Oregon receivers. I'll go with Egbuka. I think he'll have a decent year. I don't think he'll have an amazing year. But you look at the factory that Ohio State's become at putting out wide receivers. I think he's good enough. I think he'll surprise people. He'll be kind of like Olave at the combine. Wow, I didn't know he was that fast. Wow, I didn't know he was that good. It's like, yeah, he's an extremely talented player. And I think he could end up being certainly a first round pick. So 15 to the Falcons, I think that fit makes sense. Next up's the Steelers. And if the Steelers go 9-8, maybe they do hold on to Russell Wilson for another year. Maybe they even hold on to Justin Fields on a 2 or 3 year contract. So they're probably not looking at QB. They drafted 3 offensive linemen in this draft. So we're probably not looking at O-line. They do love their pass rushers. Do you think Mike Tomlin would look at Harold Perkins and say, this is a guy that I can mold as just, like, early in his career, we can bring him in and he can just rush the passer from, like, an interior linebacker spot, while not really relying on him to pass cover that much? It would be a gamble, I feel, but if you look at the Steelers' middle linebackers in the last few years, like Cole Holcomb is probably the best one they've had. They brought Miles Jack out of retirement. They had Robert Spillane, who was maybe the second best that they've had, and he's become a good player with the Raiders. Well, they did get Patrick Queen. They gave him a nice contract. They got Cole Holcomb, Elandon Roberts. They drafted Peyton Wilson. Maybe he's kind of the same role. Maybe we don't take Harold Perkins. Maybe we'll look at the secondary. Denzel Burke, Jabbar Muhammad, Kobe Bryant with a C-O-B-E-E spelling, Jason Marshall, Matthew McDoom. Shout out Coastal Carolina Dynasty. It's coming back eventually. Malachi Starks, safety at Georgia. If you want to consider a safety, maybe. Do I go back-to-back Ohio State players here? I think I'm going to. Denzel Burke, along with Joey Porter. That could be your corner duo. They did bring in Dante Jackson when they traded Deontay Johnson for him, but he's more of a nickel. You've got Porter, you've got Darius Rush and Corey Trice. Cam Sutton, do we expect him to be there long term? Ryan Watts. Give him Denzel Burke, another boundary corner. Maybe even play some nickel. I like Denzel Burke a lot. Take him off the board. New York Jets. I mean, quarterback could be in play if Aaron Rodgers was to retire. I don't necessarily expect Jordan Travis to be the next franchise quarterback of the Jets. Well, before I decide if I want to take a QB here, let's decide who QB3 really is. Right now, as I've mentioned, it's probably between Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, and Quinn Ewers. Now, I do like Dylan Gabriel. I know he's like one of the Heisman favorites for Oregon this year. Jalen Daniels, Cam Ward, Cam Rising, even. I don't think any of those guys are in competition for QB3 right now. Brady Cook, Riley Leonard, Grayson McCall, Garrett Green, KJ Jefferson, DJ Uiagalelei, after they lost already. Will Howard, Will Rogers, Kyle McCord, Graham Mertz, Donovan Smith, perhaps. It could be the year for Tyler Show or Tyler Van Dyke. Ethan Garbers, Curtis Rourke, Hudson Card. Any Hudson Card fans in chat? Underclass. Those are all seniors, by the way. Underclassmen: Milroe, Ewers, Caden Salter, Connor Wiegman, Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, Miller Moss, Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold might be a sophomore. Yeah. So all those names, I would probably say right now, Jackson Dart overall QB3 for me. Maybe even QB2 over Shador. I don't know, man. I want to see Shador actually go win some games. I don't know if they're going to be capable of doing that. I say I want to see him win games. I don't really even want to see him win games. Do I really want to see Colorado winning games? I don't know if that's the case. If I'm going to say Shador Sanders is my QB2, I would like to see him win some games before saying that. Could it be Milroe or Ewers? Yeah, it could. With great seasons and good combine performances, they could elevate themselves to. And we're also just assuming Carson Beck is definitely going to be QB1. That's not safe. That's not a safe assumption. Right now, if I had, since I do have to, this is my mock draft, I would probably put Jackson Dart as my next quarterback off the board. Do I want to have the Jets take him here at 17? This might be their, it's a good shot to get a QB for the future, especially if Aaron Rodgers retires. I mean, they, picking 17th at 10 wins, they missed the playoffs in this predictions and mock draft, so maybe he retires, maybe he comes back for one more season to try to go out on top, or at least to get back into the playoffs. I don't mind the idea of them going QB, to be honest. Call me crazy, but in the post-Aaron Rodgers era of the New York Jets, I think they have to go draft somebody and hope he's good, rather than try to go get another veteran QB. So, at 17, I'm going to go Jackson Dart to the Jets, as crazy as that might sound. Indianapolis Colts at 18. I'm hoping we don't have to take a QB for a long time. It's really crossing my fingers at this point. I've seen tight end kind of be the most common position mocked, and it's usually Colston Loveland for the Colts, tight end from Michigan. I won't say I hate the idea of that. I think the only other position that I would really like us to address would be corner. I went over our entire roster earlier, and I like Kenny Moore still as a nickel, but after that it's Juju Brents, Dallas Flowers, and Jalen Jones. I don't know if any of those guys are a true number one corner. Unfortunately, the top 4 corners are already off my board, so who would I go with? Quincy Riley, Jabbar Muhammad's only 5'10". Kobe Bryant. I mean, I can look at our contracts really fast. Maybe a receiver. I know we just drafted Mitchell, and we paid Pittman. We're certainly not going to take a running back in the first round with Jonathan Taylor still on the roster. If you look at our receiver depth, Pittman got paid. Ashton Dullin's in a contract year. Alec Pierce will have one more year next year. Just drafted Mitchell. Josh Downs will have 2 more years. It would basically be to draft a player to replace Ashton Dulin, which, again, could be probably not McMillan, probably not another huge, tall, 6'5" guy. Evan Stewart or Tez Johnson. J. Michael Sturdivant out of UCLA, 6'3". I always have trouble mocking for the Colts, it seems. I don't think we need an offensive lineman, unless Braden Smith or Ryan Kelly were to retire. And I think we've done a good job of getting some young depth pieces in the middle rounds. So I don't think we need to go O-line in the first round. Maybe tight end Mo Alley-Cox and Kylan Granson are scheduled to be free agents. Jelani Woods will be in a contract year. Not a guarantee to make the roster next year. Same with Ogletree. Grover Stewart will still have 2 years left. DeForest Buckner will still have 2 years left, so probably not looking at a defensive tackle. Raekwon Davis will have a year. Maybe preemptively you do think about a defensive tackle. Although if Adebawore is going to be a defensive tackle, what do we need, man? What do we need? I feel like it is corner or tight end. I don't want to just give us Colston Loveland, but that kind of seems like it just, you know, for the pick, for the value of the position, he may not be Brock Bowers, but if he's tight end 1, you know, we've seen like Dalton Kincaid went in the 20s and had a productive rookie season. It's possible. It's within the realm of possibility. So, Colston Loveland at 18. I don't love it taking a tight end in the first round that I'm not super confident is a first round talent, but it makes sense with the fit. Buccaneers at 19. Snuck into the playoffs. Mike Evans is getting older. They've been taking receivers, so probably not looking at McMillan. Probably not looking at O-line. Could this be like a Harold Perkins spot? I just, you know, I've done some mocks and I haven't been able to find a good spot for Harold Perkins. I do think he's going to end up being a first round pick, at least at this point. Levante David is 34. They let Devin White walk. They do have Servicha Dennis. Yeah, Chris Braswell made the Buccaneers roster here. I don't know what I was reading earlier. I kind of like this idea. I'm going to go with Harold Perkins to the Buccaneers at 19. They can develop him as a pass rusher, as a rookie. They can kind of slowly bring along his run defense, which he's 6'1", 220. He's never going to be a great run defender as a linebacker. Maybe even you play him as a deeper safety, but I mean he's going to play in the box, so maybe he's a nickel corner. I don't know what Harold Perkins is in the NFL. We'll see, but we'll give him a shot at 19. 20th to the Jaguars. My first thought is tackle. My first thought really is Emory Jones. Is that crazy? Cam Robinson is getting $22 million this year, and then he's going to be a free agent. You got Anton Harrison. Walker Little is also a free agent this year. So to replace those two guys, you could take Emory Jones. Javon Foster was a draft pick this year that I kind of like too, but you could think about Connerly maybe from Oregon, or Jonas Savania, if that's how you say it. That's probably the one name I've butchered the most so far. We'll go with Emory Jones Jr. Maybe Anton Harrison slides back to left tackle. Alright, Lions at 21. First thought, pass rush, opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And that's probably going to be... He's a little farther down my list right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's my 5th best edge rusher. But Patrick Payton, his potential... Florida State, I know Florida State lost, but doesn't mean they don't have good players. I like Patrick Payton. I like the potential of him. Give him to the Lions at 21. Buffalo Bills 22. I know they don't need a quarterback and they don't need a running back. Other than that, kind of everything could be up in the air. Oh, a rainbow Patrick just popped. That's nice. Let's see, I could make another one. I could make another 4. Wow. I only need to make 2. Alright, back to football. Bills. You know, Deion Dawkins was like trolling this offseason, saying he was getting cut, but he got an extension. But like, He's like one of the oldest players on the team, and the Bills just let a lot of their veterans go. So is it possible they just take Josh Connerly? I think that's quite possible. 22, Josh Connerly Jr. out of Oregon. Packers at 23. It's not going to be a QB. Haven't taken a running back yet. Probably won't in the first round. Probably don't need an offensive lineman. They probably don't need a defensive lineman. That leaves secondary. Let's go take a look at the roster. I mean, receiver. And your wide receiver 5 is either Malik Heath or Bo Melton, who's in a contract year. Maybe add another receiver. McMillan's still on the board, although you got Christian Harris. Or sorry, Christian Watson. Christian Harris. Yeah, you got the Alabama linebacker from the Houston Texans. Who's your safety duo? They paid Xavier McKinney. Eric Stokes and Corey Ballantyne are in contract years. They did draft Javon Bullard and Ketan Oladapo. So maybe they've got their safety duo for the future, but they don't necessarily have corners for the future behind Jair Alexander. I wish I felt more confident about the corners. Quincy Riley's my next corner listed. Pardon my chair. That was my chair. Now I'm trying to make noises with the chair. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to make noises with the chair and it wouldn't do anything. You gotta believe me, man. I didn't spell Quincy right, did I? See, didn't get the end. Quincy Riley did have 3 interceptions last year. Played 3 years at Middle Tennessee State, and then this will be his 3rd year at Louisville. So he's a little bit older. Oh, he has a lot of interceptions in his career. He's got 13 interceptions. Now that's over the last 4 seasons, but if it's between like him and maybe Dorian Strong, I mentioned Kobe Bryant, Davison Igbinosun. Haven't seen him in a first round mock yet. Probably won't. Okay. Well, we'll get Quincy Riley going for the first round. First time I've mocked him in the first. I can just hear TFG giving this grade an F right now. He's like, this guy's a late day 3 pick on my board. Why would this kid give the Packers this bad of a prospect? I can't believe it. I'm sorry if that's the case. I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about Quincy Riley. I don't know a ton. But he is my next highest corner. So, I got work to do on corners. I got Denver Harris on my board. So, I know I got work to do. Hang tight. It'll get better throughout the season. Bengals at 24. We're not going QB. We're not going wide receiver. Unironically, running back? Question mark. Omarion Hampton, Quinshon Judkins, Ollie Gordon, Jaden Ott, Travion Henderson, Donovan Edwards, Alston Gentry, Nick Singleton, Damian Martinez. Who is RB1? I don't know. Currently I have Hampton. Would I really take a running back for a team with Joe Burrow on it? Probably not. What about Tyler Booker? How about a guard? How about we actually protect Joe Burrow finally? Does that sound good? I mean, they are paying Orlando Brown and Trenton Brown to be the tackles this year. Marius Mims, future tackle. Alex Kappa still has 2 years. Ted Karras has 2 years. Who's their other starting guard? Is it Cody Ford? Dante Smith? Cordell Volson? I'm not sure. It seems like it'd be a good time to get a guard, so let's go with Tyler Booker, who right now is my top guard over Tate Rutledge. I'm hoping Donovan Jackson can be in that conversation. I hope Ohio State's offensive line is quite good this year. I think it needs to be if they actually want to compete for a championship. It needs to be better than last year. Dolphins at 25. Is it crazy to think they could take a receiver? Yeah, probably. Tyreek Hill did get an extension. Remember he said he was going to retire and be a... He was going to do a certain thing. A certain profession. He said that. That was a quote. But he did sign an extension, so that's... Maybe he changed his mind. Maybe he realized, hey, if I continue to be a superstar NFL player, I could probably make more money doing that. So the Dolphins, I don't think they need O-line too badly. They're in pretty good shape there now, finally. They did lose Christian Wilkins, so maybe a D-tackle. Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Tyleek Williams, Dante Corleone, although he's out for the year, unfortunately. Howard Cross, Nasir Stackhouse, Shamar Turner, Bear Alexander, and what you know about Thor Griffith. Some of my top D tackles. Dolphins. What about safety? I mean, Malachi Starks is still sitting there. I know safety is another position that's really devalued. But if you're the best one by a lot, and if you're a really good prospect, they have Javon Holland, who's in a contract year, and then Jordan Poyer, Siren Neal, Marcus May, contract year. Hey, Storm Duck. Good for Storm Duck. Yeah, let's go with Malachi Starks. Form a nice safety duo if they can afford to keep Javon Holland, and if they can't, then it's going to be really necessary to get another safety in there. Dallas Cowboys at 26. I'll be honest, I've done mocks with the thought process that Dak Prescott leaves. I just think ultimately they get it done and he extends his career with Dallas. So if he does that, and you've already paid CeeDee Lamb now, maybe you could look for a right tackle replacement. That's something that comes to mind if you want to upgrade over Terrence Steele, who's going to be scheduled to make $17 million next year with 2 more years left on his deal after this. They drafted Tyler Guyton. He's going to be starting at left tackle. Is Cooper Beebe going to be starting center? That's kind of crazy. They kind of ruined Maisie Smith right off the bat. They drafted a nose tackle and then told him to lose weight. Man, Eric Kendricks is their highest paid linebacker. I mean, Micah Parsons is kind of a linebacker. What would you call the Cowboys' defensive scheme? Is Micah Parsons an outright defensive end at this point? I don't know. I'm not going to give him a linebacker, probably here. You paid Trayvon Diggs. You got a safety duo, sort of, in Lee Hooker and Donovan Wilson. Traded for Andrew Booth, who made the team, Jordan Lewis. Is it crazy to think maybe a running back? You got Zeke, Rico Dowdle. Apparently Dalvin Cook is listed here. Did he sign with the Cowboys tonight? I didn't know that. If true. Dalvin Cook. 16 hours ago. Sorry, my bad. Cowboys signing four-time Pro Bowl running back Dalvin Cook to the practice squad. So, you got those guys, Malik Davis, and then, not Deshaun, Deuce Vaughn. You kind of need a running back, and, you know, Zeke is only one person, so it's not a huge sample size, but Dallas Cowboys, Ohio State running back. Would you take Quinshon Judkins? Would you take Travion Henderson? At this point, I do have Judkins higher on my list. Henderson's had injuries in the last 2 years. Well, yeah, in the last 2 years. He is a senior. Or he's a redshirt junior, maybe. I don't remember. There is Hampton, there's Ollie Gordon. I don't know if I'd want to draft Ollie Gordon. Ah, boy. I'm gonna go with Quinshon Judkins. Call me a homer, call me crazy. Oh, there's no way Quinshon Judkins is RB1. What are you, insane? Do you even watch college football? Like, yeah, and he's really good. One of the best running backs in the nation for 2 years. The last 2 years he has 2,700 rushing yards and 31 touchdowns. Oh, RB1? How can he be RB1? Okay, well. He's RB1 for my mock, at least. My mock in August. Give me a break! Alright, we're almost done. We got 6 more picks. Houston Texans. I'll try to go a little quicker here. Nick Scourton out of A&M. Seems like he'd be a kind of a fun fit there. To pair with Will Anderson, former Purdue Boilermaker transfer. Philadelphia Eagles at 28. Might be thinking O-line. And I will. I'll give them Jonah Savania. That's the best way I can think to pronounce it. Out of Arizona. Right tackle or guard. Maybe he can step in if Lane Johnson were to retire. Or, you know, give you... keep that solid depth that you can develop behind your established guys. Rams at 29 is a really interesting potential QB spot if Matt Stafford was to retire. My next QB would be either Milroe or Ewers. I'm almost shocked and awed by the fact that Matt Stafford has made it this far in his career with the injuries he's had. Is that the direction I want to go? QB. I mean, Tutorial McMillan's still on the board. He should probably have gone by now. Imagine him sliding to the Chiefs. Get a big body receiver for once. Like if MVS was consistent, that'd be like the only big body receiver Mahomes has ever had. But we're not there yet. The Rams don't necessarily need another receiver. I don't know what exactly else to consider giving them right now. They did just trade, what's his name? The linebacker. Is it Ernest? All I can think is Ernest Thomas. I'm sure that's not correct. That doesn't sound right. Ernest sounds right, though, for some reason. Ernest Jones. I don't know why Thomas was in my mind. I mean, Jay Higgins is my top-rated true linebacker. Barrett Carter at Clemson as well. Danny Stuntsman. Deontay Lawson. Jay Higgins doesn't really scream first-round pick, especially for a team that might need a quarterback. Especially considering, like, Stetson Bennett isn't going to be your future franchise guy. Like I said, if Stafford were to retire, if you're in a position to take the fourth best quarterback in this class, so then you got to ask yourself, is it going to be Ewers, Milroe, other, Cam Ward, Dylan Morris out of James Madison? You never know what could happen. You know. Haynes King, shout out Georgia Tech QB, beating Florida State. Connor Wiegman I've seen in some first round mocks. Drew Aller I've seen. He's definitely got the size of, like, Anthony Richardson, essentially. Not quite the same athlete. I guess it comes down to who do I think is going to go farther this year, Bama or Texas? I'll give the nod to Texas. I'll go with Quinn Ewers, QB4 right now. Send him to the Los Angeles Rams to either to bring up behind or to replace Matt Stafford if he were to retire. And at 29, like, remember the Packers took Jordan Love at, what, 26, 24? And had him sit for 3 years. I don't think Matt Stafford will have another 3 years after this year, you know? So Quinn can sit for a year maybe behind Stafford. Stafford can go out with another decent season probably. And you can transition to Ewers. I think that'd be kind of best case scenario there for him. And for the Rams. And we got 3 teams left. Baltimore Ravens, not going to be considering a quarterback. Unless something horribly terrible happens with Lamar this year. Offensive line could be in play. I said I was going to go a little faster with these last few picks, and here I am, like, doing deep dives into their rosters. Could running back be in play? I mean, they're on the books for $10 million for Derrick Henry next year at 31. Justice Hill is going to be a free agent. You'll have Rasheen Ali and Keaton Mitchell. So maybe not. Receiver, they gave Rashad Bateman a little bit of a 2-year extension here. You got Zay Flowers. Tez Walker as well, so you're probably not drafting a receiver next year. You got your tight end trio that I really like. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and even Charlie Kolar. Offensive line, Ronnie Stanley, contract year. Patrick McCarry, contract year. Tyler Linderbaum still has a year, plus a 5th-year option. Josh Jones, Ben Cleveland, contract years. David Falele, is he a starting caliber player? You drafted Roger Rosengarten. Is he going to be a future starter? Is Andrew Voorhees going to be a future starter? I don't feel real confident in their offensive line, to be honest. The next best O-line player probably is Tate Ratledge, although I'm looking at Ajani Cornelius from Oregon as well, the other Oregon tackle. I think we'll go with Tate Rowledge, though. I think he's got enough ability to be considered for being a first-round pick right now. That was a long way to say I'm making him a first-round pick in my mock draft. What are you saying? 49ers. We're trading Brock Purdy. No, we're not doing that. They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy probably $50 million a year, which seems crazy. But they're probably going to have to do it. Maybe they don't. Maybe there's a dispute. I don't know. But that right there is the reason why you really don't want to pay Brandon Ayuk $30-ish million a year. Because you got to pay Brock Purdy. So, what, maybe a defensive player, maybe like Landon Jackson, maybe one of the Ohio State edge guys. You know what, Brock Purdy is on the books for 2 more years, actually. So he won't even be getting paid big bucks until 2026. Unless they give him a raise. Out of the goodness of their hearts. So maybe Ayuk, maybe he could play on the franchise tag next year. That wouldn't be ideal for him, but George Kittle's getting up there, man. George Kittle's going to be paid $22 million in 2025. He's probably not going to get that big of a contract again from San Francisco. He's making $12 million this year. Trent Williams is still trying to get paid, and he's on the books to get $34 million next year. Somehow that's not enough. Their offensive line behind him is like Jake Brindle, Aaron Banks, Colton McKivitz, John Feliciano, Spencer Buford, Jalen Moore, Ben Barch, Dominique Pooney, Drake Nugent. It's not great. D-line, you got Bosa and Hargrave, Malik Collins, Leonard Floyd, Yetur Gross-Matos, Jordan Elliott, Drake Jackson. It's like you have a couple of elite players on the O-line and D-line, and then you have just like below average starters after that. So O-line or D-line here. Just take Jack Sawyer, pair him up with Bosa. Is that crazy? I mean, who's their other edge? Leonard Floyd, who's going to make, right now scheduled to make $10 million next year? Or Yetur Gross-Matos is scheduled to make $10 million next year? Drake Jackson, who's going into year 3 this year, hasn't really been able to show much. I would rather spend a first round pick on like Jack Sawyer and cut the other 2 veterans, to be honest. So Jack Sawyer sneaks in at 31. And he may not even be as good of a prospect as JT Tuimoloau, to be honest, but we'll see how their seasons go. And then the Chiefs at 32. I mean, I mentioned it. I think Mahomes would love it. I don't know how exactly I let him stay on the board to 32, but I'll try to say his name a little better. Tetairoa, it looks like Tetairoa, Tetairoa McMillan. Tetairoa? Did I get it finally? Can I read? Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. He is like 6'5". That's a type of receiver that the Chiefs just really haven't had. So, go ahead and give Patrick Mahomes a 4th Super Bowl in a row. Would be his 5th already. Alright, there's the mock. James Pierce, Carson Beck, Will Campbell, Will Johnson, Kelvin Banks, Travis Hunter, Mike Williams, Shedeur Sanders, Benjamin Morrison, Deion Walker to top 10. Abdul Carter, Mason Graham, Luther Burden, Takario Davis, Emeka Egbuka, Denzel Burke, Jackson Dart, Colston Loveland, Harold Perkins, Emory Jones, 20. Patrick Payton, Josh Connerly, Quincy Riley, Tyler Booker, Malachi Starks, Quinshawn Judkins, Nick Scourton, Jonas Savania, Quinn Ewers, Tate Rutledge, 30. Jack Sawyer, 31. Tetaroa McMillan, 32. Whew. That wraps up the NFL topics I wanted to look at. Yay! We're done! No, we're not done. We're not done yet. My laptop is slowing down here. Can I close the browser? There we go. Alright, last remaining topics. I wanted to look back at the box scores of week 0 in college football, and then look ahead to the games this week, coming weekend. Fever won tonight, by the way, against the Sun. That's a nice win. A week. Is it counting last weekend's games as week 1? No. I can't go back to week 0. What the heck, man? I don't know what that says, but alright. Week 0. I cannot see week 0 on ESPN. I don't know what's the deal with that. I don't know. That seems strange. Okay, how about schedule? Nope. Oh, there we go. Saturday, August 24th. So, we had Georgia Tech upsetting number 10 Florida State. And again, I want to reiterate, I felt bad for Florida State last year when they did not make the playoff. I did feel bad for them. Their entire team transferred, right? Or went to the draft. So I don't necessarily feel bad for them that they lost the bowl game to Georgia by like 60 points. And here they are, losing to Georgia Tech to start this season off. So it's not a great look, obviously. DJU did have about 200 passing yards. I don't know. I'm not real confident in Florida State after that one. What else happened? Montana State beat New Mexico. SMU beat Nevada. And Hawaii beat Delaware State. Some excitement there. Alright, some notable games today, actually, now Thursday, the 29th. We got Howard at Rutgers, oh boy. Western Carolina at NC State. We'll get to see Grayson McCall for the first time for the Wolf Pack. Any other real notable games? Any Maction? Yeah, a couple of Maction games. I see Toledo in there. Murray State at Missouri, number 11. Lindenwood at number 22, Kansas. Bro, what are we doing ranking Kansas, man? Come on. North Carolina at Minnesota. North Dakota State at Colorado. Can Colorado actually win a game? We'll see. My Coastal Carolina versus Jacksonville State. I played that matchup, obviously, on stream. Southern Utah at Utah. Eastern Illinois at Illinois. Friday, Temple at Oklahoma. Florida Atlantic at Michigan State. Elon Musk versus Duke. TCU versus Stanford. Western Michigan versus Wisconsin. But then Saturday, we got number 14 Clemson at number 1 Georgia at noon. And you can get a ticket as low as $90. How about that? Penn State, number 8 at West Virginia. Illinois State at number 25, Iowa. Okay. Okay, man. Indiana State at Purdue. Go Indiana State. Chattanooga at 15, Tennessee. South Dakota State at 17, Oklahoma State. Towson at Cincinnati. Akron at number 2, Ohio State. On CBS at 3:30. Tickets as low as $31. Gonna take a drive up to Columbus. Jeesh. Or just turn on my TV. Colorado State at number 4, Texas. Number 19, Miami against unranked Florida. FIU at Indiana. FIU at IU. Ohio at Syracuse. Kennesaw State at UTSA. Miami, Ohio at Northwestern. Boise State at Georgia Southern. Man, you know college football season's back when you're getting excited about Boise State at Georgia Southern. What a matchup. Allen E. Paulson Stadium in Statesboro, Georgia. Stony Brook at Marshall. Starts playing Delta Dawn. Richmond at Virginia. Oh, here we go. Western Kentucky at Alabama, number 5. Furman at number 6, Ole Miss. UT Martin at number 18, Kansas State. Now, you would expect all these ranked teams to beat these teams that they're playing, but that's why we watch. That's why we like upsets. That's why when Florida State goes to Ireland and loses to Georgia Tech, it's kind of fun. Not for Florida State, but for everybody else. Idaho at number 3, Oregon. Ooh, Notre Dame, number 7 at number 20, Texas A&M. 7:30 on ABC. Fresno State at number 9, Michigan. Go Fresno State. Alabama A&M at Auburn. UCLA at Hawaii. A 7:30 start time. That's really early for Hawaii, isn't it? Maybe that's just like 1:30 their time. I don't know. Georgia State at Georgia Tech. We're getting down to the end here finally. New Mexico at 21, Arizona. And then Sunday, USC number 23 at number 13, LSU at 7:30 on ABC. The only game on Sunday. And then just one game on Monday. It's Boston College at Florida State, who will no longer be ranked number 10. Interesting stuff. As far as like going over the bracket, man, I don't know. I just hope Ohio State wins the championship. I don't want to go through college prediction. I guess I could look at like the standings real fast and say who I think will win each conference. Okay, the AAC, the American. I don't know, man. Give me Tulane out of the American. The Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC. I mean, Clemson's the highest ranked team right now, with Florida State losing. Give me NC State. Give me Grayson McCall to win the ACC. Big 12 Conference. Utah. I'll take Utah. I like Cam Rising. Sure, why not? The Big 10, obviously, I'm taking Ohio State. Although Oregon, number 3. Penn State at 8, if Drew Waller's any good. Michigan's still going to be good. Although, I am expecting Ohio State to win this year. And if they don't, we all know what that means. We all know what that means. Conference USA. Give me liberty or give me death. See what I did there? That quote. See? I mean, there's only 3 teams that are independent, and one of them's Notre Dame. So, when was the last time Notre Dame was not the best independent team? That would be a good question. Mid-American Conference, the Maction. Love me some Maction on a good old Thursday night. I mean, I'd love to say just give me Ball State, but probably won't do that. So I'll go with Ohio. I'll take the Bobcats. Why not? Mountain West, another conference with no ranked teams. Give me the Wolfpack in honor of Bengal. We'll take the Nevada Wolfpack. Pac-2, the Pac-12 conference. I mean, does it really matter? There's only 2 teams. There's only got to be 1 conference game. Boy, Oregon State or Washington State. I guess I don't know, man. Washington State, dude. I don't know. The SEC, the Southeastern Conference. There's Alabama. There's Auburn, Florida, Georgia, LSU, Missouri, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Texas. I guess according to my mock draft, I took yours over Milroe because I said Texas would go farther. I guess give me Texas. Although, wait a minute, Georgia's in here. I guess give me Georgia. Georgia might very well just go undefeated all season. So, okay. Yeah, Georgia. My bad. The Sun Belt Conference. The only conference with 2 divisions still. Give me Coastal in the East. And they'll match up with, how about the Arkansas State Red Wolves? Give the dub, though, to the Chanticleers. And then ultimately, you know, I would want to pick Ohio State to win the championship, because it's like if you don't win it this year, you're going to be losing a lot of talent, and probably your coach. And that's not true. If we beat Michigan, but then fall short in the playoffs, I think Ryan Day will be back. If we lose to Michigan again, and then also don't do anything in the playoff, Ryan Day is probably going to be fired, unfortunately. I like Ryan Day. I'm not advocating for him to be fired. That's just kind of the reality of the season, I think. I mean, if you made me bet right now, I'd probably just have to take Georgia. I mean, they just barely lost to Alabama last year, was their only loss, and then just the way the cookies crumbled, didn't get a chance to make the playoff either, so last year would have been a great season to have more than 4 teams in the playoffs. Georgia could have made it, Florida State could have made it, Ohio State could have made it. But yeah, I mean, it'd be great if it came down to Ohio State and Georgia. And I'd like to pick Ohio State, but my brain's telling me to say Georgia as eventual national champs this year, led by Carson Beck. That's almost it now. The only other topics I have written down are video games, and in that regard, I don't think I'm gonna get Madden this year. I think I really am just gonna skip it entirely, unless I get it on sale for like $20 at some point. It's just a crappy game, man. Let's be honest. So, College Football 25. I do want to get back to it. I know I keep saying it, and then I keep streaming things like SpongeBob. So, eventually I'll get back to it. I do want to stream more Coastal Carolina Dynasty. I do want to finish Season 1 and get into Season 2, which I hope to do in the next, like, week. Now that I've done this, and I can start piecing together what I want for YouTube, Or maybe I will break it up into several highlights on Twitch so I can import several different videos to YouTube. Maybe that would be a better way to do all of this rather than just one big long, or two long streams since my game crashed earlier. That's probably what I'll do. So I think I'll leave it there. Had fun talking about football. We can revisit all the topics I covered real fast. Cut down day and practice squad editions. I went over the Colts' entire 53-man roster. I went over the quarterback depth chart for every team. I went through and gave my season predictions for the entire season. Came out with the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl again. Imagine that. I guess I can do like awards real quick too while I'm thinking of it. Man, my L key just does not work anymore. Barely. Really gotta mash it. I'm currently looking up the list of awards that they give out. So MVP. I mean, probably Patrick Mahomes. Coach of the Year. Let me bring up my predictions again. Because it's not always just going to go to the best teams players. Especially Coach of the Year. Sometimes get like a team that wasn't really expected to be that good. Like if the... No, this is for last season. This is for the 2022-23 season. This is for 2 years ago. Where'd my predictions go? Where'd they go, man? Here we go. No. That has the Browns going 13 and... Did it not save my predictions? It has the Eagles with the #1 pick. What the heck is this? What the heck, man? What in darnation? It's the same website. Did I not use the right schedule? I'm sure I did. It has the Browns at 13-4 and the Saints at 11-6 being the 1 seeds. What the heck? Okay, well that website's broken. Let me just bring up my spreadsheet then. Gee whiz. Why didn't it save? I don't understand. So obviously I had the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I think I had the Eagles, Niners, Chiefs, and Ravens all with 13 wins. So MVP Mahomes. You know what? If the Rams win that many games and make it all the way to the NFC Conference game, let's give Sean McVay Coach of the Year. I think that's fair. And then I closed my tab that had the awards. Darn it. What's the matter with you? I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't mean to do it. Comeback Player of the Year. Are there any obvious candidates for Comeback Player of the Year right now? Oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, it'll probably be Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Offensive Player of the Year. How about Offensive Player of the Year? If Mahomes wins MVP. How about Tyreek Hill? How about Tua just feeds Tyreek Hill this year? And he has like 15 to 20 touchdowns. Defensive Player of the Year. How about Nick Bosa? The Niners. AP Offensive Rookie of the Year. Well, that's undoubtedly gotta be Caleb Williams, right? Unless it's Jaden Daniels. I'll go with Caleb on that one. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Leatu Latu. 10 plus sack season. Stats Moment of the Year was CeeDee Lamb's catch versus the Lions. So I can just invent a play that's going to happen this season. Anthony Richardson's going to stiff arm Harold Landry and then run for a 55-yard touchdown. How's that sound? Walter Payton Man of the Year was Cam Hayward last year. Who would be a good Man of the Year candidate? I can think of a couple specific ones that would not be good candidates. But that's not an award, so. How about, I don't know, man. It would probably be best if I look at last year's candidates, but how about Kirk Cousins? He's going to lead his team to 9 wins, miss the playoffs, but then get rewarded by winning Man of the Year. He could also win Comeback Player, by the way. It's not a guarantee Rodgers would win that. FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Year. Players of the Year. So like a QB and a running back duo. If Derrick Henry's still good, probably Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Salute to Service Award? Oh, I don't know, man. Salute to Service. It was Joe Cardona. Gosh, can I think of players in the NFL from military academies? Can I just say Joe Cardona again? Maybe like, maybe Trevor Lawrence will donate a bunch of money to, like, the service academies or something randomly. I don't know. Well, Trevor Lawrence, really random shot in the dark. AP Assistant Coach of the Year. So, like, Coordinator of the Year, essentially. Bill Belichick, after he signs with the team to be their, like, co-defensive coordinator for, like, the Eagles or Rams or something. There you go. Bill Belichick. Bud Light Easy to Celebrate Moment of the Year, they gave it to Tommy DeVito. Joe Flacco. Anthony Richardson has a minor injury, has to come off the field for like a drive. Joe Flacco comes in, shoots a deep ball deep for Josh Downs. He leans for it, dives, makes a 40-yard catch downfield. And then Joe Flacco just goes crazy and he starts jumping and then you got Sam Ellinger coming into the game because we don't want Joe Flacco jumping around. NFL Fan of the Year, Tim. Tim is going to win Fan of the Year, and no, it'll be Sketch, won't it? Yeah, it'll be Sketch. Sorry, Tim. Deacon Jones Sack Leader Award. Man, Micah Parsons is so good. I'm going to say Aiden Hutchinson. Don't say I didn't say anything nice about Michigan. Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award was Bobby Wagner last year. So like an older veteran player. The first one that came to mind was Eric Kendricks with the 49ers. There you go. Alan Page Community Award was Calais Campbell last year, the Community Award. Who's that former D-tackle the Chargers had? Not Jerry Tillery. Oh, who's that guy's name? This is such a random poll. Sebastian Joseph Day. Yeah, Sebastian Joseph Day is my pick to win the Alan Page Community Award. The Jim Brown Award was won by Christian McCaffrey, so I'm guessing just the best running back. Well, it'll probably be Christian McCaffrey again. Angry Run of the Year was won by Najee Harris. Angry Run? Give it to Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco? Pacheco. Go ahead and mark that down. Unless his teammate, Ball State legend Carson Steele, runs off a beast mode-esque touchdown run. That could happen. It's possible. Alright. I think I've now talked about every possible thing that I wanted to talk about. Before I get off stream here, I'm going to go back into the anime card game. That's pretty much it. I covered all my topics and then some. So I feel pretty good about that. I think I will probably try to split it up into multiple videos as far as posting this to YouTube. But I had fun talking. Hopefully, if you listened, you had fun as well, and you maybe learned a thing or two, or maybe you hate me for some reason. One or the other. Let me know in the comments if you like. That's kind of it. So I'm going to keep farming off-stream anime cards, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, rip stream. Wait, hold on. Did I hit the wrong thing? Oh, there we go. Till then, rip stream, and Godspeed. Goodbye.